Hello, my Facebook family. So we're going to hop on real quick in time for the holidays so we can get a good message in, find out what's going on, find out what's happening. No, the cough is not COVID. That cough is just a regular cough that I get. Hey, it's July 4th, and we've got to say that I'd like to say a lot's going on, but a lot is going on. Uh, you see me looking up here because I'm going through StreamYard today. So do me a favor. For those of three people on, can you put something in the chat just so that I can make sure that I can see everyone's comment in the chat while we're getting this fixed. Hey, don't forget, if you live in, well, Florida's now the worst, Texas, Arizona, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, and South Carolina, things are a little bit different. Things are a little bit difficult for you. Rika Maurice, what's going on? Yolanda Hagley, what's going on? Hey, Yolanda, make sure you reach out later to me to find out whatever happened to your meeting and to make sure that my assistant got you what you needed. Everybody, one thing is for sure, and that is things are not getting any better. Lauren Goodwin in St. Louis is reaching out. Hey, let me close this door. Yeah, I close it halfway so the nurses can still see me. Lawrence is still COVID is still changed. We're going to do this the way that we always do it. And about the 10-minute mark is when the 5 to 7 minute mark is when I will start the comments while we're waiting for people to jump on. But just real quick, in case for those of you who didn't see my live yesterday, I live for my daughter's softball game. I worked on Friday, Wednesday night, overnight, left Eastern Shore of Maryland and went to Quakertown, Pennsylvania to watch a game, hang out, do all that kind of stuff. We had to get a room, so that's a whole nother story. But what was clear was the government has racialized this, which is so sad. The tournament had clear rules about only some certain number of kids, certain number of ladies in the dugout, and everyone had to have on a mask when they were up to bat. And then when you were just walking around, you had to have on a mask. But when you're outfield, you didn't have to have on a mask, which I thought was very reasonable, especially the outfield. And the parents couldn't be behind the dugout. You had to socially distance. A few things. One reason why this is getting bad is that I think that some people just may not get it. Some people just may be a little slow. For even the parents, you're not supposed to sit behind the dugout, and you're supposed to socially distance. So you know what they did? They moved to the outfield, but they were still close. There was no social distancing. But back to this being racialized, what was very clear was that it was the black girls, the black ladies, who had on masks, and the white ladies did not. The white young ladies did not. And it saddened me because these were all innocent ladies, 15, 16, 17, 18. And they were being impacted because of the foolishness of us grown folks. And what they don't realize is that the data is now showing that, whoa, unlike you all thought, this is starting to even move in the other direction where, don't get me wrong, black folks are still being impacted at a disproportionate rate. But they're starting to see that these numbers, they're starting to show that it's unfortunately killing whites at a higher rate as well. But it was sad to see it being racialized. And then as I walked around Quakertown, well, I ran. I went there. I got there early, so I ran. So I had a chance to run. People just were not wearing masks. It was absolutely amazing to me. And that's the one thing that the CDC, the WHO, Dr. Fauci says, that's the thing we can do. There's some modeling that basically shows that if 90% of the country wore masks, we would be well on the end of this. But I just shared that story while we were waiting for people to jump on. Oh, I didn't get a chance to say hi. Wow, people are fast with their questions. Leslie, what's going on? Lauren Goodwin, Juan Lewis. Juan Lewis, they says the masks are mandatory in St. Louis. Good to hear. Lauren Goodwin, Dolores, how are you? All right, everyone, we are going to get started here. Um, oh, there's a reason why I told you that story about it being racialized, because once again, America's on our back and we have to save us. We have to create some kind of campaign, some kind of slogan that say, hey, everybody, look, you can keep your, how about this? Follow me on this one. Give me a few. Oh, that's right. So I don't like, that's why it's hard doing it this way, because I can't see I cannot see the thumbs ups. Oh, yes, I can. There they are. The message should be, all right, everyone, you can keep you can stay as racist as you are, or as precious as you are, and that applies to black folks too. You keep your prejudice, keep it, pause it for a moment, just pause it, put it to the side. I promise you, it's going to be there when you come back. But right now, as a country, we have to figure out a way of coming together. And one way is, you know how usually at the end of the call I say, hey, call 5 people you have not called. Now I want you to call 2 people or introduce yourself to 2 people, even if it's from a socially distance, just from across the street, or people you don't know from a different ethnic group. Because in the end, if we don't fix this, there are projections that we may go above 1 million deaths. But look, we still got time to fix this. Let's get started. Mo Benz, what's going on? Nicole, Carolyn Gardens, what's going on? Teachers are going back to work. Students are not required to wear masks. What level of risk? Wow. Hey, I'm going to get the questions shortly. Let's get to, oh, by the way, don't forget everyone, my book, Train Your Mind, Split Second Decisions, is out. Need your help? You can hit that bit.ly. Today we're going to deal with one of the concepts. Yesterday we talked, or the last live we used one of the concepts in the book, No Decision is a Decision. We're going to use the concept today, which is presented in more detail in the book. I'm going to wrap it around COVID. I think I shared with you all that my publishing company was like, wait a minute, you're not living up to your contract, because I was supposed to be doing all these lives for the last couple of months as relates to the book. But COVID came and we started to pull away, but COVID came back roaring. But anyways, today's concept is your first decision is likely your best decision. Your first decision is likely your best decision unless you have new and significant information. In other words, what your first decision is probably your best one. And here's why. Up to 80% of our decisions come from our subconscious. I mean, the subconscious is that part of our brain where our experiences, where inside knowledge that we don't know about, where it sits there. It sits there. We don't have direct access to it, but it fuels, it helps our decisions. Most of our decisions come from the subconscious, and their subconscious is usually pretty quick. It uses a few experiments about this in the book. But your first decision is likely your best decision unless you have significant and new information. And I'm going to explain that. Right now, we're talking about the July 4th and 4 rules. Before we get into the politics of it, I get it. It's July 4th. Some people choose to celebrate it. Some people choose not to. And that's fine. But there are people out there celebrating it. Rule number 1, no indoor gatherings. No indoor large gatherings, no indoor parties. Why? Because there's a greater likelihood of infection if you're inside. Because we already talked about it. While the virus is not airborne, it's aerosolized, and it lingers in the air for a period of time, unless it's well ventilated, like being outside. Aerosolized is that when I sneeze, the large droplets, they drop on me and they drop to the ground. The smaller droplets, they go out further. If I have active virus, and don't forget 80% of us are asymptomatic, meaning that we have active disease and we can transmit the virus. So therefore, if I'm just talking to you, the virus goes 6 feet. If I cough, it goes 20 feet. And if I sneeze, it goes 30 feet. And if the room is not ventilated, or if you're inside, that virus just lingers. I have it. There's evidence, and this is not from a scientific peer review journal, so I'm just going to say it lightly, that you are 19 times less likely to get an infection to get infected from the COVID virus, or for it to be transmitted to you from someone else if you're outside. Again, if you're outside. Plus, inside, it's more difficult to socially distance. Number two, no bars. No bars, period. Here's why. And it's for non-COVID reasons. Alcohol does what? It serves as a disinhibitor. So we're more likely to do things that we wouldn't normally do. Our inhibitions are gone. So laugh it out loud, coughing that virus out. So we tend not to follow the rules as much, so we're likely to take off our masks. We're probably not going to socially distance. So no outside rules. Number one, no indoor house parties or gatherings. No bars. Number three, be careful of peer pressure. And this is when your first decision is likely to be your best decision comes in. Often our decisions are changed not because of new and significant information. It's because of peer pressures. Real life example, your family's visiting, your friends are visiting, your boys are visiting, you all decided you're going to visit, and there's a party going on, and you don't want to go, but your peers are there, your boys, your girls, your family say, come on and go, come on and go. When you'd already said, nah, I kind of don't want to go. Your first decision is your best decision, unless you have new and significant information. Your peers, your boys, your girls, they don't have new and significant information. They're from out of town. Therefore, be careful of peer pressure. Your best decision is likely your first decision. And by the way, don't forget, most of that comes from the book. You can hit that bit.ly, which is attached to this. The book is doing well. The full release is July 7th. Oh, you all said I got off note there. I'm sorry, I keep going. Oh, and number four is be ready to roll. Be ready to roll. So number one is no indoor parties. Two, no bars. Three, be careful of peer pressure. And then last one is be ready to roll. What do I mean by that? Because if you choose to go out someplace or to some gathering or to have some or to have people over, if you find that people are not obeying the rules, time to roll. And by the way, you should share that with your tribe before you all even go. So look, this happens, this happens. If people are not social distance, people are not wearing the mask, people are not washing hands, we're rolling. So be ready to roll. And again, if you go to a party, everyone's spread out, or to an outdoor event, everybody's spread out. Okay, you chose to take that risk. At least you made a decision, but you may need to make another decision if they don't socially distance. And then this one's a bonus. This is not a rule. This is a bonus. Be sure to use the restroom use it at home prior to the event you're going to. Here's why. Don't forget, if you've got active virus or someone has it, don't forget, most people do not know that they have it. When they use number one or the number two, it releases active virus into the air or into the bathroom or into that porta potty. So say that you're safe, you're good, but someone else is in front of you, and then you come behind it, and it's aerosolized, so it may linger in the air a little bit, especially if the bathroom's not well ventilated. You go in there where there's active virus, and you get contaminated. I recommend, and this is how you all know that I'm being real. If you can use the bathroom outside, I know for dudes, it's easy for us. Some of y'all do act like y'all don't. Look, I'm a real dude. Use bathroom outside. Ladies, if you cannot use the bathroom, do what you got to do. But if you cannot use the public bathroom wherever you are, that is safest. I would even encourage people that, if they need to drink less, but stay well hydrated, but they need to think, if they need to drink less, then so be it. And then, so don't forget the 3 W's: wear a mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. Let's really quick talk about this herd immunity, because I've been hearing people thinking, oh, there's so many infections, let's just go ahead and let everybody get it. Do you all know how this herd immunity works? So herd immunity, as you know, means that if someone has, bodies, which means I can't get it. I've got the COVID fighting, so that means I can't get it. That means if this comes and sneezes on me, and this person has active virus, I can't get it, so I can't pass it on to like anyone else. And if this person comes and comes in contact with me but doesn't contact this person who doesn't have antibodies, this person's safe. That's how herd immunity works. What's my point? Without a vaccine, In order for there to be herd immunity, in order for it to work, at least 70% of the population must have antibodies. 70% of the population must have antibodies. Let me tell you what that looks like. That means that 330 million people must get infected and become all right, get on the other end of it. And so that's about 230 million people who need to have gotten infected and turned out fine. But our current death rate in this country of people who are COVID positive is 4.7%. In other words, what we're talking about, in order for us to fully develop herd immunity, we need about 1,085,000 people to die. What's my point? Don't be talking about herd immunity. We don't have time for that. I mean, that's just too many deaths. Worst case is the way I see this playing out, unless and this is not scientific data or anything, unless Trump does an about face, and I think he probably will. This is everyone's guessing, obviously, in the next couple of weeks. But if not, if Biden wins, he comes in, he gets sworn in, put us on national closure, lock us in again, 4 weeks, and then we'll be on the downside of this. But right now, we're not even close to any type of immunity, and our deaths right now are probably at 130,000. The best we can do is look out for one another, be kind to one another, take our vitamin D. If you think you have symptoms, then you definitely want to isolate. And while you're isolation, you all should go to my YouTube page. Make sure you go to my YouTube page at Dr. Geoffrey. You know what? Next week I may have to just do a summary because this is new again. But there's certain things you have to do if you think you are COVID positive. You want to make sure you do them while you are at home isolated. Now, here's the final point here. These tests. I get more texts and emails about these tests. These tests, the nasal swab, which tests for antigens, it just says, do you have the virus or don't you have the virus? That's all it tells you. That's all it tells you. They are only about 65 to 70% accurate. That means they're missing about 30 to 35%. We've known this. Just because your test is negative doesn't necessarily mean you're negative, especially if you have symptoms. A key point, we get many patients to come in and say, hey, I just had a negative COVID test a few days ago. But now I have a loss of taste, loss of smell. We diagnose you with COVID and send home. While COVID's not the only condition that causes loss of taste, loss of smell, it's one of the few conditions that does. And so that's a symptom. I highlight that because people are relying on these tests, and don't get me wrong, get tested, but just know the test is not 100% accurate, and it only tells you about what's going on right now, right then. The other test is the antibody test. That test that test tells you, hey, and by the way, you want that test to be positive. If that test is positive, what it means is that you were exposed in the past to the virus. You got infected with the virus. You may have been asymptomatic, but your body responded and developed antibodies. Now you have anti-COVID-19 fighting cells, meaning that if your body sees it again, those cells are going to stroll in and boom, you're good. And you want that test to be positive. If you're back to nasal swab, I'm switching gears back to nasal swab, which is only 65 to 70% accurate. If your test is positive, that's about 99.9% accurate. So your test being positive is accurate, but test being negative, it's about 35 to 70% accurate. And in summary, before we take questions, it's July 4th. Be kind to someone out there. Be kind to at least 5 people, but reach out to at least 2 people across the aisles, and we're going to develop some kind of campaign. If somebody wants to instant message me some slogan, we've got to reach out there and take this fight to them. It's got to be a multicultural thing, because we just can't sit back and see if Trump puts on his mask. That's not how we're getting down here. We've got to do our part here, and we've got to have a way to comfortably say to people, hey, can you do me a favor? I know you're good. Could you put your mask on for me? And don't get too close. We as Americans, we have to step up and do this now as well. Everybody, that is it. I'm taking questions now, and let's get in and have a happy July 4th. Let's take a few questions here. Wait a minute here. Hold on here. I'm on my. Hold on here. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right, I can actually now see. Hold on here. All right, good. I can see the questions here. All right, here we go. I can see them here too. Florida's bad. Master Mandatory, Lauren Goodwin, St. Louis County just made wearing masks in public mandatory starting today. Good. Carolyn Gardens writes, teachers going back to work and students are not required to wear masks. What is the level of risk? I can't tell you. I can just tell you that people should be wearing masks. I sit on currently a few governmental committees. I am pushing towards to require students and teachers to wear masks. But keep in mind, this is what I want to say. We are leaders within our own household and within our own families. If you think you should wear a mask, you wear a mask. There's no government who can tell you, who should be able to tell you that you can't. I get it. If you're a teacher and they say that you cannot wear a mask, you have to figure out, do I want to stay there? And I get that people have jobs. But overall, if there's nobody mandating that you can't, the rule should be that you wear a mask. And now, get me wrong, if you're outside, it becomes a little bit different. But if you're going to be close, you should definitely wear a mask. Good question. I wish people could see all the COVID-19 victims who lost the fight. Just maybe they can understand exactly how it can affect their life. Jennifer Pittner writes, I wish people could see all the COVID-19 victims who lost the fight. Just maybe they can understand exactly how it can affect your life. That is so true. Not only that, see how it impacts their family. I can just tell you, being on this end, that's real. People's families are just devastated. They're just devastated. So we've got to do our part. Very good point. Very good point. Shantae Washington writes, which is worse, wearing a mask without distancing or distancing without wearing a mask? It's which is worse, wearing a mask without distancing or distancing without wearing a mask? I just think that if you social distance, it takes care of everything. Think about it. If you're far enough apart, you don't need a mask on. If you're far enough apart, you don't need a mask on because there's no one who the wind can blow anything over to you. But in other words, hold on. You asked me a question. Let me answer the question I asked. Which is worse, wearing a mask without distancing? Wearing a mask. I don't know. I think that they're 20s. Not sure. Thank you for the question. Juan Lewis. My daughter's first birthday is July 4th, but we just canceled today because of the spike and a grandparent who was recently diagnosed with COVID-19. I'm sorry to hear that. But Juan, if it makes you feel any better, the data is still very clear. Children are doing extremely well. Children are doing extremely well. And I hope your grandparent gets better. If they've had it for more than 6 days, 6 7 days, they're likely on the lower, on the end part of this and should be getting soon. But be sure to say hello to your baby daughter. Lonnie Stanley, what are pros saying about the potential uptake this fall? How should we prepare? Whoa, great question. Real talk. We're preparing like it's going to be a big one. Oh yeah. So what you don't know, within the ER, the flu hits us hard in the ER. You combine flu and COVID, especially flu and COVID. We can't clinically, you can't look at somebody and tell whether or not someone's the flu or like COVID. So by and large, if you've got those symptoms, you're diagnosed with like COVID. If you have the loss of sensation, loss of taste, boom, it's definitely COVID. What I would encourage people to do, get plenty of masks, get hand sanitizer. If you can get Lysol, check the grocery stuff off the grocery shelves or whatever store you go to, get the Lysol, because this is the lane, this is the space we're going to live into for now. In fact, let's all think back. Think back to about February and March, when you didn't have the stuff that you wanted. Think back to the stuff that you wish you had and start getting it now. Because while Florida, Georgia, California, Texas, and a few other places, North Carolina and South Carolina, while they're hotspots, the way this is going to work is hotspots are going to move. They're going to move. And it's not unreasonable for one hotspot, for you to, for one hotspot to get to cool down and then come back to it, because we've not closed down. So don't be surprised by this. New Jersey is a great example. They opened back up. They started to uptick. They've decreased it back down. So I would prepare as if there's another wave. And the reason the reason that you heard me pause is we may not ever get past the first wave. So therefore, there won't be another wave, because we were just in a wave the whole time. And I'm not trying to discourage or scare anyone, because at the end of the day, just keep in mind, 97% of us will be just fine. But we have to do our part to make sure that we're part of the 97%. Great question. Do I need to mask? So Adrian Jones, right? Do I need a mask while exercise walking? So that question comes up. Let me tell you, I don't wear a mask while I'm running, and I get my runs in. However, I keep a mask with me. Why? Because if I'm running past somebody, I need to put my mask on. Or if I have to run through a group, I need to put my mask on. But if there's nobody out there, no one's around, I do not need my mask on. And I definitely cannot run with the N95. While I'm running and no one's around, I do not wear my mask. People have asked me, and I'm pretty clear about this now, is it okay to go to the gym? No. I don't think gyms are not safe. It's not I thinking. It's just that in the gym, you lift weights, pushing it out, doing that kind of stuff. And you're pushing that virus all the way across the room. So I don't think gyms are safe, unless maybe if you have to go, if you're the first one there, you get in and get out. But the days of being there for 2 and 3 hours, you have to figure out your most efficient workout to get in. Great question. Here we go. Carmen, what's going on? Helen, in Vegas, in Las Vegas, the casino porters are contracting the virus and are dying, and the boss are telling the public what's going on. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I am uniquely sensitive. In fact, you also know I'm uniquely sensitive to it. People think that healthcare providers don't get COVID, or we're not concerned about it. I say I highlight that I'm uniquely sensitive to that. So I'm sorry that's happening to them, but I get it. The porters and people have to go to work. So it's a difficult call. My heart definitely goes out to them. Shakita Gloria says they are saying 8 feet apart. Look, everybody, lean in. Oh, this is going to be part of my plan that I'm going to start maybe next week. I'm going to make our listeners, we're going to be the most educated listeners, because here's why. Because this, don't forget, we're asking people to put your prejudices to the side. If you're white and listening, if you're black and listening, if you're Asian and listening, if you're Latino and listening, put your prejudices to the side. I promise you, they're going to be there when you want them back, because we have to reach out across the aisle. One way of doing that is that we've got to be super educators. So we have to take this information. You don't have to give me credit, and share with people. Just like you just said, Shakia, that they're saying 8 feet apart. Group. For those of you who've been rocking with me for a while, we know that 6 feet is a minimum distance. It's a minimum distance. By and large, if the world were great, it would be 30 feet, because when I cough, it goes 20 feet. When I sneeze, it goes 30 feet. 6 feet is a minimum distance. Be careful. 6 feet is a minimum. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Shekinah, Mrs. Glory. Joyce Parker. Hi. Do you think COVID causes permanent lung damage? The studies are out. I mean, the studies are still going on. What we're finding is these asymptomatic, I just read a recent article. What we're finding is that many of these asymptomatic, I don't have a percentage, but many of these asymptomatic young people, you go do a CAT scan on them and it shows evidence of lung disease. We don't know what the long-term effect is. We don't know. But that's a great question. Very good question. KTT, this is great information. Thank you so much for taking the time out your schedule to ensure we are educating and preparing. KTT says, thank you very much for taking time out. You're welcome. And for those of you who rock with me, you heard me say this. I tried to push away from this COVID because this COVID was just supposed to be, for start off with my mom and her friends. It was supposed to be for a couple of weeks. As the government flopped, we all are citizens. We had to step up. I pulled back because I've had this PR campaign. Oh, great! Thank you for telling me. This PR campaign planned for my book since this time last year. I was supposed to be promoting the book for the last 3 months, but because of COVID, it's been mainly COVID. So I'm managing to work both of them in there. By the way, purchase the book. It's called Train Your Mind, Split Second Decisions, and we're making decisions that are life and death about our families and our jobs now. Great book. You can attach it to that bit.ly. Appreciate you. Oh, what are your thoughts about flying? Hold on. Dale Grant, what's up, Dale? What are your thoughts about returning to school in the fall? I'm a teacher and I'm nervous. My apologies if this was already addressed. No, Dale, this was not addressed. I promise you all, I have not promised. I said on Wednesday that I would address it on Monday, but I'm actually going to address it on Tuesday. There's some more information, but I can tell you this just up front. It won't be a split second decision. It will be a well thought out decision that there may not be a right or wrong answer, or people may just choose to do it differently. It's like religion. People just do it differently. No one's necessarily right or wrong. But being concerned about going back to school this fall is extremely reasonable. And I don't want to oversell it. I will provide 5 to 7 data points to consider when going, if you or your child should go back to school. Where it may fall short is I may not be able to have the information that says, hey, if you have this percentage of cases, then you don't want to go back. I will provide the most important data points to consider. Great question. Right now, are my kids going back to school in the fall? I don't know. And it's funny. That's what I do to my doctors when I go to doctors. And this is a nugget. As a physician, as you all know, I'm an ER doctor. The best question to ask, especially in those gray areas, is because there's medical legal stuff that we have to do. Don't forget, this is a nugget. There's medical legal stuff that we have to do. Because there's a lot of gray. There's a lot of gray area. I would ask the physician, if this were your mother or if you were me, ask us that question, and that frees us up to say, hey, if that were me, I would do. It may be the same thing. It may not. But back to your question. I don't know if my kids are going back to school this fall. Don't know that yet. My gut is probably not, but I'm not sure. Here we go. Here, let me go back to the questions here. Dale Grant, what are you doing? Why are diabetics high risk? I don't know. There's a whole physiology. I know why. Read it. But let's just say it's if you go to the New England Journal of Medicine, the New England Journal of Medicine, or was it CDC? Or was it Lancet? One of them had a great article on why diabetics have a risk factor. So you can Google it, but I'm not sure. But it is a main risk factor, especially diabetes 1, but mainly diabetes 2. Diabetes 2 is usually that which is related to obesity. What are my thoughts about flying? Well, first of all, the first recommendation is stay home and don't fly. But if you have to fly, it can be done safely. Yeah, it can be done safely. And check me out. If you go to Dr. Sigma, no, not Dr. Sigma. If you go to Dr. Geoffrey, I did a whole video on how to fly. Oh, pause. It's not. You can purchase your book. Train Your Mind Split Second Decisions, which is available on Amazon now. You can hit that bit.ly that is attached there. Okay, but back to flying real quick. Once you're on the airplane's relatively safe. The air that's filtered in the airplane is filtered about 10 to 12 times an hour, and the air in the airplane is often safer than the air that's filtered in the hospitals. The studies are showing is what you do before you get to the gate and after you get to the gate. In summary, from the moment you get out of your car, you should have on your mask. You should be prepared to socially distance while you're in TSA line, and they found that the TSA site is an infectious site. You should be prepared to socially distance and have plenty of hand sanitizer. Carry those small bottles with you, and as soon as you go through, make sure you don't cross-contaminate. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Try not to use the bathroom while you're in the airport. Try to stop and get anything to eat. Finally, that what's the name? The walkway. The walkway is not ventilated. So that's an infectious gel. There's not gel area that is just sitting there. Try to get through that walkway as soon as possible. Once you're on the plane is like relatively safe. Try to sit in a window seat because you're furthest away from the aisle. And if the windows have sunlight, don't forget the sunlight kills the virus. If you have to use the restroom, wear your mask into the bathroom. Wear your mask into the bathroom and wash the handles. When you get off, it's the same way. Now, here's the most important thing. Lean into this. When you get to your destination, whatever clothes you traveled in, take them off before you get in the house. It's very likely you have infected viral on you, and so it's very important to take it home. In answer to your question, I don't recommend flying. Would I take a flight? I would take a flight. I would look like a spacer ship. I have everything on, and I would be socially distanced. But I feel very comfortable taking a flight. And as you all know, I do a lot of public speaking, and I speak on split second decisions prior to taking the flight. I mean, to writing the book, and I train nationally, and so I have a few flights that may be coming up soon, and I will get on the flight. But the current recommendation is to stay home. Carolyn asks, why do I be high risk? I don't. We just talked about that. No cure, no school. No, Adrian Jones, right? No cure, no school. Now, I don't know how excited to get about this or not, but the Chinese, I read in a short article, I'm assuming it's true, started to vaccinate their military just a few days ago. Just their military. By the way, that's not a cure, that's a vaccination. What that says is that we're further along than what we realize. I don't know what to do with that. Because I've always said, and I probably am not going to change. When the vaccination comes, this family will not be the first to be in line. We'll just they just won't be the first. And when they start doing trials in this country, they're going to trial it with different people. So NIH has trials all the time. A cure is not coming, but vaccination may be sooner. Very good question. And last question, unless this is behind here. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Tamara Rose writes, hey, I'm driving to go to a timeshare in Williamsburg for a few days, and then Jacksonville, Airbnb in Jacksonville, Florida, next Thursday for a few days. Is that traveling too much? Well, I don't know if it's traveling too much, but the areas that you're traveling to, you're traveling to Florida. You're going right to the war zone. Areas I would not travel to now. Look at it this way. While you can be traveling safely, you're going to areas where the enemy is more rampant. They're just out there more. Texas, Florida, Georgia, Arizona, California, South Carolina, North Carolina. But if you're going to travel, I had to stay in a room last night. It took about an hour to get the hot spots, spray every place. I sprayed the bed, sprayed the curtains, left the room so it could fumigate. Is that the right word for that? It could air out. And I've done it, so I don't say what you're. Do what you're comfortable with, but as long as you sanitize the room. And by the way, if anyone who can get any Lysol now, get it. Just get it because it's definitely hard to get. And then finally, Mimi, Laurel, what's going on? Laurel Bradley, my favorite pediatrician. What's going on? All right, everyone. That's it. In summary, be safe. Don't forget our assignment today. 3 things. One, if you develop a slogan or something that we can use, because we have to take this, mantle. We have to push this out. Of all colors, of all races, we have to wear a mask. And now we can say, hey, look, I know you thought it was just killing Black folks or darker skinned people, but it's killing everybody. We all have to do our part. This is one time where, as a country, we can come together. So if you think of some kind of slogan or some kind of idea, please let me know. 2, you're still going to reach out to 5 different people. 5 different people. Adrian Jones, right? Go on Amazon late night for the Lysol. No, go on Amazon and plug in Train Your Mind Split Second Decisions. Go on Amazon, Train Your Mind Split Second Decisions, and then the book will come up. But 2, reach out to 5 people, 5 different people. Just call and check on them. You know what? I mean, I will be honest with you. Somebody called and checked on me. I'm good, but I felt some kind of way. I felt good. I was like, oh, all right, that's what I'm talking about. So I would encourage you. I don't mean just text. Text is nice. It's cool. If you're not good with calling, text is cool. But the preference is call. Then 2, here's a big one. Reach out to 2 people outside of your race. If you don't know 2 additional people, then you have to go meet them, even if you're at the grocery store. Hey, such and such. Hey, I'm such and such. I just want to reach out and say, hey, have a good day. Have a good day, brother. And by the way, I call everybody brother. It throws people off. You can be Asian, Black, purple. I call everybody brother. They don't realize I mean brothers in Christ. But I call everybody brother. So we got to reach out. Okay. That's it, everybody. Thank you. Oh, Rosemary Anderson. How are the kids? Rosemary Anderson. She looks out. She ordered a lot of books last time. She ordered a book this time. Make sure you tell the family I said hello. Tamara Peterson. So bad because they live in Texas and Florida and we are supposed to meet there. I'm nervous but desperate. Hey, so Tamara, who are you talking about? So I feel some kind of way in my answer. Hey, I'm driving to the timeshare next Thursday. So okay, so Tamara, I hear you, and you know, Tamara, I feel the difficulty you have. If it's next Thursday, and by the way, I don't recommend this, but you got to play the numbers game. Make sure that they isolate now. If they make sure they isolate starting now, and hopefully they were starting to isolate a couple of days ago, because the bulk of the people experience symptoms in the first 6 to 7 days. If they have a symptom when you all get there, that it's a wrap. Then you all can't do the family thing. But if they don't have symptoms, you may be good. But I get it. You miss your family. You want to see them, and for your mental health, it may be worth the risk. So I don't want you to think I'm saying you are unreasonable. So I get it, but everyone needs to do what they can do now. So tell your family to socially distance, to isolate. Don't stop while they're driving. Don't use the bathroom. They have to stop and use the bathroom. Go to the side of the road. Don't go to the public restroom. Everybody, it's ball game. It's ball game. So you got some of this stuff that we say, oh, I can't do that. No. So I feel you, Tamara. I don't think that's unreasonable. You have older kids, Jacksonville, Florida. I don't think that's unreasonable, especially for like mental health reasons. Real talk. My wife hasn't seen her family, and she's really close to her family. We're really close to our family. I have not seen them in several months. We usually see them every couple months. I have a feeling that we're going to move towards something like that too. I probably won't go because let me add a little humor to this. Nothing's funny here. You know, my family, the funny thing is, nobody wants to hang out with my family because they think I'm the infectious one. I'm the infectious doctor. Oh, can't go to Dr. Barnes' house. Or, the neighborhood's going to get together on the block, but we don't want them to come. The way I see it, I'm the safest. Again, I don't go and see a patient. I don't care if you come in without a splinter. I mean, with a splinter, I get. Let me tell. Look, I'll tell you what I do. So look, this is my air. This is the air. I put on some gloves, a gown. And I have on gloves and gowns. So I am the least likely. I'm the least likely to be infected, and that's every patient. If you wonder why you felt some kind of why you felt some kind of passion, that maybe annoyance, maybe a little pain about it, it's because when I hear my family say, "No, they don't want to come because of you, Daddy," I keep wanting to say to people, I may be around COVID patients, but the difference is I assume that they're COVID, so we take the precautions. So back to where I was. So Tamara, yeah, I think you're good. Devin Williams, right? Doctor, should my daughter return to college? I don't know. And the reason why I say I don't know, and let me just tell you just up front, you will not hear me come up with a definitive answer for the college students. The reason for that is many colleges are doing something different and reasonable. And given the fact that they're with a younger population, it just depends on what your college is doing. And if your child has risk factors. Now, here we go. If your child has risk factors like they're immunocompromised due to kidney failure, HIV, immunosuppressive drugs, active cancer, then the answer is probably no. If they have horrible asthma, the answer is probably no. But if they are if their immune system's fine, normal, and everything's good, then it just depends on the college. I know my alma mater, Hampton, they decided they were going to go online this fall. And I will admit, and don't judge me. Don't judge me. Please don't judge. And don't I like this is a silly question. Does that mean the homecoming's canceled? I just need to know. I mean, so everyone's online virtually. Maybe the campus is safer. We'll do the if we do the matrix and see how the infectivity rate is and set out the tents all over the campus and socially distance. I think there's a way of doing it. And agree. And that wasn't anything medical of me saying. That was just me just talking. Forgive me for that one. That didn't make any sense. All right, here we go. Oh, Vicky came on out there. All right, Vicky, you put it out there. Let's talk about it. Everyone, look at Vicky's Vicky's post. We're having July 4th party tomorrow. Wow. The host found out his coworker, whom he has no direct contact with, tested positive. The coworker's asymptomatic. Do we? Heck yes. Well, first of all, Vicky, since this is real talk, you shouldn't have a party anyways. Now you're saying you're having an outdoor gathering, it's a few people and you're socially distanced. That makes sense. But your coworker who's tested positive, that's an issue. That's no doubt. That's hands down an issue. And you don't want to be the family that, hey, wait a minute. We all, you know how those funeral homes, those churches, I mean, those people who went to funerals and people went to churches or that social gathering and everyone got infected. You don't want to be that house. I'm not saying that it's not, if people want to have a barbecue and it's outside, I think that's a little more reasonable and a controlled environment depending on the size of your yard. But a full-blown party as if COVID does not exist, that doesn't make sense. But there are ways to have a party. So let me not come down hard. But in answer to your question, that's part I'm not going to. But Vicky, try this. Maybe you just have family and one or two friends who you know, or find out if anyone's been tested. April, yes. Hampton's off. Laurel writes, Hampton is online this fall. Dr. Adrian Jones, Doctor, I let this COVID overwhelm me. I'm scared of everyone. All I do is pray. Hey, Adrian, relax. And don't let anybody fool you. It scares everybody. Everyone's overwhelmed. And anyone who's not feeling a little stressed, There's not telling the truth. We all go through these ups and downs. And so a little anxiety now is not unreasonable. But here's the deal. Nothing's changed. 97% of us are going to do just fine. And the way you stay in that 97%, you socially distance, you wear your mask, you wash your hands. Only go out to places that you have to go to let go of. Another way of looking at it, you say, well, John, how do you know everything's up here? So we've all have been through things in life, right or wrong. Come on, give me a few hearts. Be honest. We all have been through stuff, right or wrong. Yes. And been through stuff where we weren't sure whether or not we were going to make it. Yes. Just the fact you're on this live now is evidence that things are always working out for you. Things are always working out for you. And when you get a little down, say things are always working out for you. Things are always working out for you. This COVID, just keep in mind, no one's ever seen it. No one's ever seen it. That's why when people tell me they're an expert, how'd you get to be an expert in 4 months? So we're all trying to figure this thing out. So it's okay to feel a little nervous. Just don't let that nervousness overwhelm you. In fact, excuse me, give yourself 5 minutes a day, all right, maybe 10, to feel a little down, to feel a little nervous. Cry if you must, go in your corner. But then that's all you got, because then you got to come out and help change the world. We all got to change the world. Why? Because the world needs to be changed, and it's the right thing to do. So we cannot allow our fear to overwhelm us. And by the way, I know this is shameless. My book talks about fear and feeling overwhelmed. So if you sign up for the book, and this is going to be selfish, July 4th, buy 5 family members and friends a copy of the book. It's July 4th. Send it to them. And if you buy the ebook, you can send it to them, and they'll have it in a few hours. So the goal is to buy 5 family and friends. And you should give me a few hearts. You know that was funny. 5 family and friends. The book, and it's gonna make you feel better. Okay. Somebody's being mean. Lonnie, get off my live. Lonnie, get off my live. Lonnie wrote something that was just mean spirited. He didn't have to. Ronnie said that Homecoming's probably canceled. Stop it. Look, I just gave her. I give hope. Can you give me some hope? I mean, we don't know this. We don't know this. COVID wasn't here this time last year. So I know. I mean, it won't be gone then, but something could happen. Lonnie, come on now, give her some kind of hope. Lonnie, it's not going to. I mean, we'll say Lonnie. Lonnie, Howard is canceled. Howard's not Hampton. Howard's Lonnie. Lonnie, I appreciate that, brother. April Roger, right? Homecoming. So it's just funny because now everybody knows everything. Homecoming has to be canceled. April, you've never been so definitive in your statement all this time. You've been rocking with Lonnie. You too. You've been rocking. Now all of a sudden, everybody knows everything. Let's just leave Homecoming alone. How about this? Let's all buy the book and bring it up. We all buy it, read it a couple times, and bring it home, come and talk about it. I don't believe everybody's just, taking away hope. Okay, Bob Walston, I have not heard you comment before. And now you're chiming in that Norfolk State canceled. Look, our goal was to encourage people. Where's my encouragement? Look, I don't know how you other HBCUs roll. I'm a Hampton graduate. I've only missed one homecoming since graduation. And I give. So let's everybody pull up, relax. Relax a little bit. All right. Let's not move too fast. We don't ever know what's going to happen. We gotta have some kind of hope. I don't believe that people keep saying that. Homecoming, yes, they don't know anything. Okay, Vicky said less than 10 people outside. You're good. And actually, that's a gathering. It's not a party. And you probably have a little bit more if the yard's big enough, and if it's hot, yeah, that's not. It's just so Vicky. In full disclosure, my family gets together, and it's 16 of us within a 3-mile radius, but everybody isolates. Both of my sisters happen to be able to work from home. I'm the only one, the 16 of us, who used to go outside the house. Now my daughter goes because of softball, but we get together, but it's only the family members, only family members. So I don't think that's unreasonable. Tammy Fisher, hey, since we're wearing masks and glasses for protection, should we also be wearing something to cover our heads? So Tammy Fitzgerald writes, since we're wearing masks and glasses for protection, should we also be wearing something to cover our heads? I don't know, but I did see a report that back in China, many of the healthcare workers were shaving their heads to keep from carrying the virus on their heads. Just I don't recommend that, but I just wanted to add some more information. Yolanda Hagley says, "Okay, wait a minute. I can't read Yolanda's comments. Let me look a little. Everybody, look at Yolanda's comments. I'm having a problem reading it. If everybody looks at it, the book is outstanding. Yolanda, you've always been a wise, insightful, smart young lady." Yolanda says the book is outstanding. Give it as a gift to all the community influencers that you know. Thank you, Yolanda. Yolanda's always been very reasonable. Thank you. Sherry Doris Benton. I'm not sure what that means, Sherry. Katie, is there a hand sanitizer you would recommend? I'm hearing a lot of stories to stay away from a few brands. I don't know. I've read it needs to be 60-70% alcohol. Sherry Daniel Dawson, listen to this. I wash my hands so much they are dry and ashy. And yes, me too. So what you need to do is get yourself a good moisturizer. Wash your hands, moisturize. Wash your hands, moisturize. Lonnie, glad you found that funny. Hey, Eleanor, my classmate, what's going on with you? Dawn from Howard, she writes that Howard's canceled. Tamara says that I expect the Howard to be canceled. I expect the Howard to be canceled. April Rogers, this was me. Sorry. Don't be sorry. I was just joking, April. Everybody, we're just having fun. You know I don't stay on lives for 56 minutes. It's July 4th. Hold on. It's July 4th. I make sure the nurses made it. I gotta make sure because when I'm on a live and the patient's not sick, they will wait. They will sometimes wait. There's nobody out there. It's probably no students on campus. Eleanor. So we have another person. So everybody, let's just be real. Can we have a real talk? All you all of a sudden chiming in. I've been living for 4 months now. You have all these definitive statements, all these, I know for sure, all these comments. Now all of a sudden everybody knows it's not gonna be homecoming. Let's just relax, pull up, cool with that. We don't know. They may come up with another idea. They may come up with another way. Eleanor, classmates, come on now. Howard's not Hampton. Yeah, that's good. Myra, calm down. See, Myra, I'm calm. But you don't understand Hampton's homecoming. And if you do, you understand what it means. I'm good. You notice I've always been good. Look, in the ER, no matter what comes in that door, it can be a stroke, heart attack, gunshot wound, STD, COVID, doesn't matter. No matter on any day, I stay at about 3 to a 5. This is what it is. That's what I'm trained to like do. But when you talk about canceling homecoming, and then you push it, it takes me to a 7 or 8. So forgive me. This is anxious times. You're talking about canceling homecoming. Talk about calm down. John, what's up, brother? John from Macmillan, help a brother out. What's going on, brother? April Rogers, I'm sorry, it hurts me too. Thank you. Sherry said, relax. Wishful. All y'all talk about relax. You all don't go to your homecoming. That's all. Heard an idea that everyone donate to Hampton on what would have been homecoming. Give back. I give anyways. All right, Kirsten, I agree. Kirsten makes a good point. Let me come down. Heard an idea that everyone donate to Hampton on what would have been homecoming. Give back what you would have spent, at least on the hotel. I agree. John from Magnolia said, thank you for the advice. Much appreciated. Hamptonian, I appreciate you, brother. Dawn, great question. So I forgot who was talking about the hand drying. Dawn, our medical doctor, says try coconut oil for moisturizer. Dawn, Dr. Dawn has beautiful skin, so I would take it that I would probably take her advice. She says try coconut oil to moisturize. There you go. Alicia Turner, when going to larger crowds like the grocery store and Target, would I be safer to wear a mask and a face shield? Yes. That's not the recommendation. It's not my recommendation as well. However, for every patient I go see, either you saw me put that hoodie on, or I put on an N95 and a face shield. So I don't think that's unreasonable. Dawn said we are germ-free and healthy bison. Yeah, okay. Adrian Wright, how do you keep yourself safe on airplane? Go back and listen to the earlier live. I talked about that. It's about the 45-minute mark on this live. Virtual Ellen is trying to clean it up. Virtual homecoming, no Hampton hugs. I mean, that virtual stuff is cool. I mean, it may be a virtual homecoming. I'm gonna get off with y'all. Usually I'm feeling pretty good when I got off with you all, but you all talk about canceling homecoming. But let's just recap. The four 4th of July rules: no indoor parties, no bars. Be careful of peer pressure of getting you to change your mind from your initial decision, because don't forget, your first decision is likely your best decision unless you have new and significant information. And then finally, be ready to roll. If you arrive to some event or somebody arrives to your event and they're not following the rules, it's time to roll. That's it. Hey, Lori, you just chimed in. Lori Williams. And you got to travel soon, Lori. So be safe. Everybody have a wonderful July 4th. Let me also remind you all about, I don't have it here. Somebody should drop the link in there where they can purchase the book. And by the way, before you say that you're getting tired of me talking about this book, I will be talking about this book for the next week. And at least my PR people, they cannot send me the little nasty little stuff that they've been sending me. I'm on it. Be safe. Do something nice. Reach across the aisle. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.